Hey guys, it's Gabby and Jess, aka LJ and Pepe. And it's been a while. I think the last time that we talked was in January.
January.
Was that the last podcast actually? I've been really busy.
No, you did one after.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. Oops.
Yeah.
Well, so we're just like here to catch up and we have some questions that we're going to answer.
We're prepared this time.
Yeah, we're like somewhat prepared. I mean, I'm not really sure if I'll ever fully be prepared.
No.
But let's just do like a recap. How's everything been going with you in your life?
Everything's good.
Like from New Year's, like that time of the year, like what do you think has significantly changed for you?
Oh my God, I feel like a lot has changed.
Like do you feel like a different person?
Yes.
Same. I do
I
too.
feel like day to day, everything feels like the same.
Yeah.
But then looking back, I'm like, no, I feel like I've really grown since then. You know what I mean?
I literally agree with you.
Yeah.
I feel
Almost like matured a little bit.
yes.
I feel like both of
feel
us
like
kind of
we
have.
we had a major shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of women in our circle this year have matured a lot. Like,
No,
I don't know. I
I
feel
agree
like
with
we've
you.
all just had
I
like
feel like so many people have gone through major life changes and a lot of breakups.
lots of breakups.
Lots of breakups. And that's from like all across the board.
Yep.
Like between
Yep.
friends, clients, family members, like but I feel like I've grown like to
Yeah.
like what we used to talk about all the
Yeah.
time, like the dating scene and all
Yeah.
that. Like I don't know. I feel like I went like hermit for a while
Yeah.
and
Yeah, now that you're getting back out there,
Yeah.
you're not leaving room for the things that are not as important in your life. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Like,
well, I'm not dwelling on like the negative either.
Yeah.
And I'm not holding on to the past. I'm looking for, different qualities.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm appreciating the green flags and I'm running away from the
we're
red flags.
using what we were taught in therapy.
Yes.
We're, all
damn
good things,
dog.
all good things.
Yeah, well, that's one of the questions that we
Yeah.
put on there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know you've been in therapy. I've been in therapy.
Yeah.
It's helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
I love my therapist. She's
And
really
it's very
helped me a
hard to
lot.
find a good one.
Oh my God, I know.
Because I feel like, at least I've been to like a lot
Mm-hmm.
where they don't, like they'll listen to you talk,
Yep.
but they don't offer you any,
yeah.
not advice, but like, I don't know.
No, I agree.
You know?
I think like part of like for me, I feel like I had so much trauma from like childhood.
Yeah.
And like every year of my life, I had something more traumatic after another.
And
like,
it carries over.
And it was just like, as soon as I started therapy, I went on my own roller coaster.
Yep.
And I was like, this woman probably thinks I'm absolutely out of my mind.
Yeah.
But she really helped me get through so
Yeah,
many things.
yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus. Now, if I didn't go through those things, that like I literally, and I say this all the
You
time,
wouldn't
I
be
wouldn't
who
be
you are.
who I am
Right.
today.
Right.
And I wouldn't appreciate who I am today.
Right. Well, it creates strength, but it also creates issues because a lot of the things that you struggle with in like your adult life are
Yeah.
really rooted in the past.
Absolutely.
You know?
But like the guys that I had dated in the past, even my marriage,
Yeah.
like the people that I chose and why
Yeah.
is all because of like what I had gone through
Yeah.
as a child.
Yeah.
And I know you understand that as well.
Yep.
But like, I don't know, like my taste has changed in guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I feel like mine
wow.
has too. Or they're just not as many who are appealing to me, which like
agree.
is kind of also a hard thing because
Yeah.
then it's like, oh my God, I feel like I don't really like connect with anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's almost better
Yep.
than being like, oh, I have these strong connections with all of these people
Yeah.
who aren't really offering me anything.
No,
You know what I mean?
I 100% agree with you. And I also feel like with therapy comes self-care.
Yeah.
And I have taken such better care of myself over the past few months. Like,
Yeah.
I went from going to the gym 2 to 3 times a week. I would literally miss classes because I would be too tired in the morning, and I'd be like, I'll
Yep.
skip, or like I'd be like not motivated. I go 5 to 7 times a week now,
Yep.
and I love it. I found a really strong community of people like that I love that are at the gym.
Yeah.
But when you do stuff like that, like you don't want to drink as much, and then you start to notice little
Yep.
things about people that you were hanging out with, and it's like
Well, you don't have like the baggage
yeah,
like hanging on you.
Like I don't want to I don't
Right.
want to just go out and drink. Like,
Right.
of course, everybody likes to go out and socialize. For
Right.
me, I would rather
Right.
go out and have like a glass of wine and socialize and like
Right.
listen to music and like hang out with people.
Yeah.
And network.
Yeah.
Versus going out and getting like completely blacked out
Right.
just because I was miserable and I had a bad week. Like,
Definitely.
I don't know. Like my taste has changed in every little aspect of my life.
Drinking too, especially, you don't feel good the next day.
No.
It kind of just makes you feel like crappy in the moment
Yeah.
too. And I feel like I almost have more fun if I get like a mocktail or something.
Of
And
course.
nobody knows that I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's more about just holding something
Well, it's
in
like
your hand.
I like Prosecco and I like my
Yeah.
wine and like I'll
Yeah.
have like a martini or two here and
Yeah.
there, but like I used to drink shots and I'm not like listen, if you see me shaking shots at the bar, shut your fucking mouth, okay? Like sometimes
It's
everybody needs
okay
a little
once in a
shot.
while.
Everybody needs
Balance.
a little shot here and there.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yep.
But I'm not out there ripping shots to get
Right.
wasted because I'm so miserable with my life and myself and I
Right.
just want to block things out. Like
Right.
I think that I was doing that for so long. I was trying to like fill the void and
Yeah.
and escape my problems.
Yeah. Rather than
versus-
dealing with them.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So
And we all do it. Everybody
absolutely.
does it.
Even
But
the way you communicate with other people. Like
Yeah.
if somebody's going through something now, like I don't really like to judge people. I'm like, listen, I get
Yeah.
it. I've been there. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Like being able to connect with people on a different level and
Yeah.
like see if somebody's an asshole, the reason why they're an asshole, they're having a bad
Right.
day, like they're not really an asshole. They're just
Right.
struggling with something in their life.
Right.
And like being able to understand that and like look past certain things
Right.
is so important.
Yeah. Well, in this world right now too is just so stressful in general.
So
like,
stressful.
you know. Oh,
He's hungry. He wants, and she just ate too.
I know.
It's fine. No, but it's true.
But yeah, like everybody's stressed out. Everybody's like a little bit on edge about
Absolutely.
whatever, you know.
Absolutely.
But
I mean, listen, I'm just happy that it's summer now and I don't have the
Yeah.
freaking school calling me
Yeah.
every 30 minutes about something new with the kids. Here we
Oh.
go. Never a dull moment in this house. All right, so let's start with some questions.
all right.
We're not going to get negative here. We want to be positive.
Yes. All right. Well, since we're friends, let's do how do you handle growing apart from friends?
Well, I feel like this year has been a big eye opener for me with
Yeah.
with that.
Definitely.
Because of the fact that I just said, like, my taste has changed.
Yeah.
In the things that I do, the places that I like to go,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that I want to be around. And like, I can still love my friends.
Yeah.
Like,
They're just
I have a lot
might
of
not
I
be
have
someone
friends
you want to hang out with.
I've always been a very social person.
Yeah.
So like I have
Yeah.
friends across the board, all different types of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I can love them from a distance.
Yeah.
I can support them from a distance.
Yeah.
But I would almost rather travel alone
Yeah.
and hang out with one or two people
Yeah.
versus being surrounded by like all these different types of energies all the time.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I don't care about people.
Right.
You know?
Well, also sometimes not spending time with somebody, it's almost better for your
Yeah.
relationship. Like there are a lot of people that I'm friends with where
Mm-hmm.
if we hang out too much, like they'll get on my nerves.
Moderation.
Or you know what I mean?
It's literally
Yeah.
about moderation. And I
And
learned that
that's-
one.
yeah,
I learned that
yeah.
one over the past few months.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And that hurts your friendship, you
Absolutely.
know?
Well, you don't
'Cause-
want to like ever smother yourself with
Mm-hmm.
with anything in life. But it's like I think moderation is a good word.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could get into too much detail about that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
literally everything in this life should be done in moderation.
Right.
Besides working out, you should do that all the time. I've come to that conclusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And eating healthy, taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
But other things, spending time with people, certain activities, drinking, moderation.
Definitely.
That's the word of the day.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, and especially with friends too.
Yeah.
I feel like my closest friends are actually the ones that I don't have to talk to.
Yeah.
That I don't have to like really hang out with.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Like my
Like-
friends from high school,
Yeah.
they actually don't even know everything that I'm going through in my life.
right.
But I still consider them like my best friends because
Exactly.
we can go like months without talking,
And then
years
it goes
without
back
seeing
to,
each
like,
other.
everything, yeah.
Everything's totally fine.
Yeah.
But like, for instance, I'm not saying names. One of my very close friends went through a lot of shit this year.
Yeah.
And I felt her backing away for a while, and I didn't want to be overbearing because she's younger than me. She has to live her life, and she needs to be on her path and her journey. and
And
she's
experience
going
it for
through
herself.
things. Exactly, she's going through things that I went through, and
But
I'm
you can't
seeing
really
it
give
from
advice
like
on that
no,
because people
absolutely
won't
not.
listen.
Nope.
Yep.
No, because like that's the thing.
They need to experience
there's a
it.
very fine line with like being able to speak your mind and wanting to protect somebody and
Yeah.
and letting them live their life.
Yeah.
And that goes for my children as well.
Yep.
You know, like
Yep.
my oldest son, Vincent, and he's happily engaged and just graduated high school and you know, I wasn't supportive at first, but now I am accepting it and I'm not going to let that ruin our relationship.
Right.
And I'm open to becoming close with his fiance and
Yeah.
I'm here to support his journey and
Yeah.
I had to realize like I went through that. Like
Right.
I went
Also,
through
when someone's telling
very
you
similar
like
situation.
no, or when you know what I
it
mean,
makes
when
you it makes you resent the person. You don't
exactly.
want to hear anything that you shut them out
Exactly.
completely because you're like you're not telling me what I want to hear.
Right.
So instead, I'm not pushy. I'm going to listen.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I used to be very. I mean, I could be a micromanager sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but you know what?
Depends.
Within reason and
Yeah.
and in moderation.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I feel like it's also like depends on the situation.
Yes.
You know,
But
and the
with
person.
that whole thing that I was talking about,
Yep.
she ended up going through her
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
And now I feel like we're coming back together and I'm so happy that I bit my tongue because now she realizes why I bit my tongue.
Right.
Because she's also in therapy.
Yep.
So she understands and I think it helps it makes it nice to be able to go through those things and to be supportive of your friends and
Definitely.
you know, show them you care but not being overbearing.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
So,
all right.
yeah.
Well,
I
next
don't
question.
even know if that answered
Yeah.
the actual question. I feel like we totally like
No, I feel
went
like we
off
answered
board.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm like, I feel like we answered like multiple
see if we
questions
get
within one.
We have some people.
Yeah, did anybody send some in?
No.
Okay, what's something that you believed in your early 20s that you totally changed your mind about?
So many things. So many things. I feel like when you're in your 20s, like you think you know everything and you're like cross between like an adult and a kid
And like
still.
not knowing what you're doing at all.
No, but you think you know everything.
But, yeah.
But I feel like that happens like at every age of your life. Like
Yeah.
just me now compared to like last month, I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So when I was in my 20s, I wanted to, you know, be successful with the business and like grow a business and like I wanted to be on my own and like now mind you, I have a very different life than most people. I had by the time
Yeah.
I was 21, I had 2 children.
Yep.
By the day before my 24th birthday, I had Anthony.
Yep.
And I was already engaged twice by then. And I opened the salon when I was 25. I got married when I was 30. You know what I mean? So I wanted a big house and I wanted nice cars and like all those things I thought were so important. Like I thought it was so important to get married
Yep.
that I rushed into doing it and I really, listen, I'm not talking shit about, you know, my ex-husband.
Yeah.
I think he's a great person.
Yeah.
I'm a great person.
Yeah.
Together.
Together you just
There were moments we had a really great relationship, but at the same time, we weren't
like making out.
we weren't like perfect for each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can totally marry Pepe if you want.
Maybe
He's
I
looking for a
should,
wife.
honestly.
He's
Imagine our like
he's
wedding
ready.
photos, like the veil. He'll have like a little hat.
Oh, he's got his little tuxedo on basically
Yeah.
as it is. So, but no, you know, like I got married for the wrong reasons.
Oh.
I picked my houses for the wrong reasons.
Right. Well, I feel like
Even buying
sometimes too, you
purses and
almost think
stuff,
that's
like, do
gonna
stupid
fix your
things.
life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was
And
very
that goes-
materialistic.
Right.
I thought
And
that
that
those
goes back
things were important.
into
And they're not.
why people need therapy and why it's
Exactly.
probably good to do it
Yep.
in your early 20s.
Absolutely.
When like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then you think that all these things are going to fix you or fix your life.
No, absolutely.
And it's not about that. It's more like about
Internal.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's the problem. Is like when you have unhealed trauma.
Right.
And you're trying to prove to people
Right.
that you are
Right.
something that they're saying that you're not.
Right.
And you want to make people proud and
Yeah.
you're doing these things for other people but not for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, at the
Right.
end of the day, like, you could buy yourself a nice bag and be like, I did that for me because I worked
Yeah.
hard for it. Or you could buy that bag to make people think that you are
Right.
something that you're not. Like, you're
Right.
higher level, or like you
I
have
think that
money, or
that's
you're
especially
fancy.
like I feel like people are especially like that around here too.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Well, being a teen mom in this area
Yeah.
was so hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like the girl with purple hair, and like
Yep.
I loved that. I thought it was so fun, but then
Yeah.
I got looked at as like trash.
Right.
Oh, she's just a young trash mom. She
Right.
probably is living off welfare. Blah blah blah.
Right,
Like,
right.
meanwhile, I'm
You're
working
working 3
7
jobs.
days a week,
Yeah.
busting my ass. I was never home.
Yeah.
So the problem is that I worked so hard to build my business that
Right.
I wasn't present with my children
Right.
the way that I should have been.
Right.
And now I'm paying for it because now they're going through shit that I went through.
Right.
And it's a revolving cycle.
Right.
So if I started therapy a long time ago,
Right.
then I think that these things would have been resolved sooner.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't fix that. So I can
Yeah.
only do my best now.
Right,
So
right.
right now in my 30s, like, my goal is to heal myself and
Mm-hmm.
to fix the problems that I didn't fix in the past, so that I can just become a better version
You
of who
also
I am.
didn't really have time to work on yourself though, because
No.
you were focusing on like more important things. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like,
well, like, the
raising
kids
your
don't see
kids
this
and-
now, but
Right.
me building that business
right.
wasn't really for me. It was to make sure that they had a nice
Mm-hmm.
house to live in, they had good schools to go to, and I did all that just for them to not want to go to school,
Right.
and to not go play in the yard that
Right.
I worked so hard to get.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and
But you don't ever
It's just-
appreciate anything until you're older.
No.
Like, I was talking to my
Absolutely
mom about
not.
this recently, and I was like, I'm so sorry for how I treated you. You know what I mean?
I think I've done that before.
And yeah.
Well, I know I've said I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Me and my mom have a different relationship, but yes,
Yeah.
I've definitely apologized for.
I also said too how like it's funny like you were saying how you always think you know more than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's so funny how like in high school you were so stupid and now you're so smart and I come
Yeah.
to you for everything. Like obviously joking, but she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, isn't it funny how that goes?
It is. It's actually.
But
It's very interesting.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah, you never appreciate your parents for everything that they do until you're in the position where you have to like make it
No.
happen for yourself.
But it's also interesting. Like, my parents never had they didn't do therapy or
Right.
heal themselves, so
Right.
they were like projecting their problems onto me
Right.
and my sister,
Right.
and then we end up. That's where that whole revolving thing comes in.
Right.
I don't want my kids to repeat the cycles.
Right.
But instead of me being
And no
up their
parents are
ass about
perfect
things, I
either.
want to be here to support them,
Right.
and let them go through their journey on their own
Right.
without me. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Right,
You know, because
right.
that's what they did to me. And
Right.
Like,
It makes you
name
wanna do more.
calling and
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, you're this and you're that." I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like, I don't want to do that.
Right,
I want
right.
to try and be the opposite so that I
Right.
can try and fix the problem within
Right.
within reason.
Right, right.
Moderation.
Yeah. Word of the day.
Word of the day. Moderation.
Just put it up like
Yeah.
between us. Moderation.
Yeah. All right.
All right, next question.
Cold in here.
Do you want to
Is
choose
it?
one?
Are you guys freezing? No.
I feel good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Me? Just read them all.
All right. Okay.
Really quicker. We got to answer these quicker.
How has your view of love evolved in your 20s and 30s?
Well. Well.
It's very
This
different.
honestly, this
now.
whole episode should be about therapy, because
Yeah.
I think that I thought love was something that it's not.
Right.
You know?
I always was like, I feel like it's when you feel that feeling,
It's
that like
not.
firework feeling. It is not. That
No.
is the red flag.
That's the
Red flag, red
opposite
flag.
of love. That is
Yeah.
that's
Love
It's
doesn't
definitely
feel
not.
like what you think love feels
no,
like.
but like coming from a toxic
Yeah.
family, like, your idea of love is totally misconstrued.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's all about your relationship with your parents,
Yeah.
because those are the first people that you want to
yelling
love
and
you.
fighting. If
Right.
you think that that's normal,
Right.
and you don't know anything else, then you're gonna go for somebody that treats you like crap.
Right.
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well,
Like,
that's why
now
people
now I
love
look for
people
different
who
qualities.
aren't into them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're used to having to fight for that
Yeah.
like feeling, and
like,
they're just looking in the wrong
I
places.
feel like me and you
know?
are very similar in that sense. Like, we
Yeah.
would always go for the raw, like the bad boys, and like we wanted the chase. And like now I'm like, no,
Yeah.
if you're not putting me like somewhat first on your list,
Yeah.
like,
then I'm just not interested.
yeah, because I'm
Right.
like, if you're doing that now,
Like, you don't
you're
have to be
really
obsessed
not
with
gonna
me.
I mean, you should definitely be obsessed with me. No I'm kidding. But like, yeah,
Because
like,
that's also a red flag. Like, the love bombing.
too much. I don't
is
like love
a lot.
bombers. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. That's
Yeah.
like that cuckoo man
Yep.
that sent me the freaking
Yep.
no
Yep.
sayonara, buddy. But no, it's hard. Like, cause like if you feel like a connection with somebody, I was reading about this the other day and I talked about this. Having a connection and having chemistry are two different things.
Yeah.
You can have one or the other with multiple people, but ideally you would like to have both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's one guy that I've been going on dates with that I really like. I enjoy his company a lot, but like we definitely have chemistry.
Yeah.
But there's an age gap.
Yeah.
So we're being cautious.
Yeah.
But
Well, and that's the best thing to do is to just go slow.
absolutely. But like this is the first time that I can say that I haven't like jumped the gun and being like, why won't you like commit to me, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like, cause
Yeah.
that was me being like,
Like, insecure.
yeah, very.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, I like that we're taking it slow. Like,
Yeah.
we go out to dinner and we go out for drinks and we talk. We talk and talk and talk and we have fun and we laugh. And it's like a really nice feeling to know that there's people out there that actually want to get to know you
Right.
and not just want to like take you home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's all fun and everything, but it's not
It's not fulfilling.
it's not fulfilling, and it's like anybody can go hook up with anybody. But you know, if you're building a bond with somebody and you want to have a real relationship with someone, you can't do that without knowing who they are.
Right.
And like, watch what happens if on date 9 or 10 you realize that they like this or they like that's not something that I'm interested in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and that's why too it's also really important to be like authentic.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people put out who they want the other person
Absolutely.
to see rather than who they really are. And then later on it comes out, you
Yep.
know, and
Well, it's like if a friend is helping, like, I'm not on online dating anymore. I hate it. I go on and off every once in a while, but it's just not my thing.
Right.
But, like, there's friends of mine that would be like, oh, my God, you put that on your profile? Why would you put that on your profile? Because that's me. Why
Right.
would I lie about who I
right,
am?
right,
Like, I am like a what you see is what you get.
right.
I don't want to sugarcoat it because why would I waste my time jumping into
Right.
something and then becoming a totally different person down the road?
Right.
But people do that, and guys do this, and girls do this to trick people into being with them because it's like manipulative. It's really
Right.
weird.
Right, yeah.
But I feel like dating is like a game, and I don't want to play
Yeah,
that game.
yeah.
So I'd rather be alone.
Also,
Here he is. I'm going to talk about your story about how you got hit by the deer. Actually, do you want to talk about that story, Nick?
come sit.
Come on, come sit. You don't want to talk
He's
about
like,
how you
"I'm
got hit by a
trying to
deer? Oh, he's doing jujitsu now.
Aw.
He does jujitsu, Nick.
Like down the street?
Oh, Fit Club, guys. If you're in the Fairfield area, check out Fit Club. My boys are doing jujitsu, and I'm really excited about it. I don't know if they're taking it as seriously as they should, but they should do it more.
Well, he's going.
No, he's
So-
going now. No, it's cool. But yeah, like,
Yeah.
there's one of my friends who's like, she wants to date a guy that has money because she doesn't want to work and she wants,
Right.
And I'm like, that's not, like, you can't just look for somebody who has money.
Right.
Like,
Right.
you could just, anybody can go be with somebody who has money, but like, don't you want
Right.
to be happy with them?
Right, right.
Like, I don't
Exactly.
know. I can't personally be with somebody that I'm not happy with.
No.
I don't want to surround myself with somebody who I don't want to hang out with, who I can't
Well,
sit in a
but
room with
those are the
alone.
things where you have unhealed things inside, where you think
Exactly.
you need all these things.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, that's not what matters, you know?
Huh? Oh, you want me to, your laundry? Oh, I gotta swap your laundry. Are you gonna fold your laundry? Yeah, okay. Liar. But yeah, yes, unhealed trauma. Let's
Yeah.
do another question.
All right, yeah, let's
no
do
more
another
negative
question.
crap.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
How long
this
do we
is
have?
so hard.
Go for like another 20.
20? All right, perfect. I think that we can handle that.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there are a lot of friendship questions, so
That's okay. I like friendship questions.
I love friendship.
I love friendship.
What do you think makes a friendship truly last?
Wow. Being open, understanding, not judgmental,
Yeah.
being honest.
Yep.
I really like our bond that we have.
Yeah.
Because
We're very honest with each other.
we're so blunt
Yeah.
and so honest. But, like, it's so funny because, like, most of my friends that are, like, very close with me are friggin' Tauruses. Mm-hmm. My mom's a Taurus. But it's funny because, like, we butt heads most out of anybody, but all my friends are Taurus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, like, I think I'm a rising Taurus, or moon is in Taurus. My moon is in Taurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
But also, I think, I don't know.
sorry, speak of the devil herself. She wants a haircut. My mother.
Oh.
No, but yeah, I mean, like, my friends from high school, like Lauren, she's
Yeah.
a Taurus.
Yeah.
And, like, me and her, we could go at it.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
like, we'll be like, sorry.
Well, you know why? Because I feel everyone, at least that I know who's a Taurus, we all get mad, but then we're over it in like 10 minutes.
I get the same way, though.
You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like we're similar like
Yeah.
that, where we'll get really annoyed,
Yeah.
and then it's just like, okay, move on. You know?
Exactly.
Whereas other people can like hold grudges.
I can't have friends that hold grudges. It's
No.
just not for me.
No.
I don't hold grudges.
No.
Like, even like when me and I'm not gonna say her name, but she knows who she is. She's one of my best friends. I like flipped out on her multiple times over the past few months, and then I had an eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
When I was
Yeah.
in Miami,
Yep.
and I was like, wow, I really miss her, because even though we have moments where we're like at
Yeah.
each other's throats,
Yeah.
I would rather have those moments
Right.
with her
Right.
and knowing that she's like a loyal person
Right.
than to be surrounded by fake friends.
I also feel like people like us too who do get like that need to have friends that are also that way. Because sometimes too, I feel like something will happen between like, I don't know, this has happened in the past, me and a friend, someone who I was like really close with. And then it's not necessarily that they like held a grudge, but like things were just never really the same after that because they don't have that like
Yeah.
fire in them in a way.
I get it. No,
And I'm not trying to make you feel like I'm like yelling
but
at
I
you
think
or
it's also
bullying
like
you.
how they were raised.
But,
like,
like,
if
right.
you know, like, you can hash it out with your family,
Right.
and then the next day, like, nothing ever happened.
Right, exactly.
I can't help that. Like, sometimes I just explode on people.
Right, right.
And then I feel bad because I'm like, do they know that I didn't
but
mean
not
it
even
in a bad
necessarily
way?
explode because I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes like you just say things that are super blunt and
Yeah.
people get really offended by that. You know, I do that
I
too.
can't help it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I do that too.
Yeah.
But we know you don't actually mean that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
No, like, I think it's about wording it and like
Yeah, and it
it's-
doesn't always come out in the
not
nicest
how-
way
It's not
sometimes.
what you say, it's how you say it.
Right, right.
Really is a very important thing, but that's
Yeah.
also like, now listen, for the most part, I do a pretty damn good job at rewording things
Yeah.
now versus
Yeah.
who I used to be, like snapping.
Yeah.
But I do have my moments.
Yeah.
And I am sorry to all the people out there that I have hurt over the past few months, years, if I've snapped at you, if I said something that was totally out of pocket. I apologize. But we're human, and
I feel like a lot
listen,
of us do
I
it.
can't be good at everything, you know?
Yeah. Nobody's a perfect person,
No.
you know?
No.
But-
I admit when I'm wrong, for
And
sure.
honestly, it's also good to have like a voice and to
Absolutely.
like say when something's pissing you off.
Yes.
Because that too, a lot of the people who like don't
They deserve it,
say
actually.
something
In
back.
the moment, they deserve it.
Right. Well, that, but also a lot
Maybe
of the
not
time when
as-
they don't want to like speak
No.
their mind back, they don't speak their mind at all in general, and they resent you for things that you don't even know that they resent you for.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I totally get it.
So those aren't even people that you necessarily would want to be friends with.
No, I used to hold a lot of things in, and then I would become really passive aggressive.
Right.
And now
Right.
I like know how to like use my voice.
Right.
Where before I was too nervous.
Yep.
So like it might come across as, oh, she's a bitch or she's too much.
Right.
But like it's
I
not.
think people say that about the two of
They
us. They're always
do.
like, oh, you're a bitch, you're a bitch.
because you know why?
No.
It's because we just speak what's on our mind.
Exactly.
And if anything, I appreciate you for that.
Yeah.
So like if I need a true advice, I call you first before anybody.
Right.
Because I know that you're not gonna
We're gonna be honest
sugarcoat
with each other,
anything, and you're gonna
right.
be like, no, like I don't know. I like it. So next.
Okay.
I don't even know
Next.
how that turned into that.
Whatever. We get sidetracked. Okay. Is work-life balance a myth?
Absolutely not.
No, but I feel like a lot of people struggle with it.
Oh, yeah.
Really badly.
Oh, well, I used to be a workaholic before I met you. I think maybe while I still met you.
Yeah, I was at like the
Did
tail
I
end
meet
of
you
it.
when I was pregnant?
No.
I had just
after.
had Stella?
Yeah.
Okay.
We met in November of 2021.
Okay. So, prior to COVID, and the people that know me now that didn't know me then have no idea how psychotic I was when it came to work. I could not say no to a client. I worked from 10 a.m. because I was always late. But even though I was late, I stayed until like midnight
Yeah.
doing hair.
Yeah.
I was working every day. And if I wasn't working at the salon, I was working at my house. And I didn't stop for 2 seconds because I was a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser is not being able to say no.
Yep.
Now I have a boundary.
Yeah.
I do not work on Sundays.
Yep.
I don't work Saturdays anymore either. Occasionally, for emergency purposes, I'll do it. But I was draining myself dry, and I didn't even realize it. Like, I was going nuts. I was successful. I was making a shit ton of money. I was traveling everywhere. I was able to buy houses. I was able to buy a nice car. Now I'm struggling financially.
But you're happier.
Mentally, I'm happier. I'm working on it though. Like, I have to figure out ways to like make more money in other ways versus like busting my ass, because to me, I can't live like that anymore.
Yeah.
I was so stressed out. I couldn't function. I was literally like a robot. I was like work. And I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't home.
Right.
Like I wasn't present for the people that I needed to be present for.
Right.
That including my ex-husband, who was watching the kids for me all the time while I was at work. So yes, I was the financial provider for the family, but I wasn't home.
Right. Right.
You know, and then with working so much came having to go out and drink because I was so stressed out from the day that I needed to drink.
Right.
And then I would just drink and drink and drink. And I'd be like, God, I'm so stressed out.
Right.
And I'm like, no. So for me, work is important because you need to work. You need to
But it's
provide.
not your whole life.
I can't make it my whole life anymore.
Right.
I will, and this is to go to anybody who wants to change their schedule around. I block myself off for certain gym classes.
Yep.
Because I think going to the gym is super important.
Yep.
Blocking time off for therapy, blocking time off for appointments, like for your self-care, like getting your nails done
Or
and
even taking
going
a trip.
out,
Taking
taking a trip. If there's like an event going on, I missed so many important moments of my life, my friends, my family, even my kids. Like I didn't even go to birthday parties because I was so obsessed with working.
Right.
I didn't know anything else. So like I wouldn't have what I have today if I didn't do it.
Right.
But I'm happy, and I will say that it's really because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because that was the first and only time I didn't work for 3 full months.
Yeah.
So I went from being a psychopath workaholic
Yep.
to sitting on a couch, pregnant, found out I was pregnant. Literally like a week before COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I went like, what the hell is going on? But it was a major eye-opener for me. I said, I kind of fucking like this.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the couch, and I will tell you
You're like, I should take the whole year.
Damn, I really like this lifestyle. But I will tell you, it was so nice to be home with the kids and Dave. And
I feel like COVID was a really good
life
time for a lot of people.
Get in the way for me.
Right.
We didn't argue. Most relationships were breaking in that moment. I think we were flourishing. Like it was the one and only time in my life where I was able to be with my kids every day. And at the time, my husband, we spent time together. We were spending quality time together that I gave up to go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it hurts me inside because it was like prime years that I missed.
Yeah.
And I'm almost grateful that COVID happened. I know a lot of people got sick and died and everything, and I had a lot of really long-term symptoms, but it was a blessing in disguise for me. Like I was able to break through that cycle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
and I watched all of The Walking Dead, so now I feel like I can really survive through an apocalypse. Next.
All right, let's see.
Actually, how do you feel about that? I'm just talking. I'm gabbing a lot over here, but I didn't even ask you the question. Do you feel
About
like
work-life balance?
Yeah. Do you feel like you have
I
a
feel
good
like I'm
work-life-
able to maintain a good work-life balance.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
Honestly,
I don't
you're just
let
kind of
people...
like you're like an old soul. To
Really?
me. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like don't really let people like push me around.
I
Like,
know.
I'll say no.
I know you
Like,
don't.
Yeah, I don't. Well, actually, like Shelby and I were laughing because she was like, "You're the best person to tell somebody no," because I'm not mean about it, but I'm just like
Assertive.
I have to be real
You
with you.
are
Right.
assertive. This
Right.
damn dog. He just wants something to eat.
Not the bowl.
He already ate, like, right. I fed him before
Have
we
his
started, so
hair.
he didn't do this. I had a feeling he was going to do this. No, but yeah, you're very assertive.
Yeah.
And it took me so long to figure out how to be like that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like
And
that.
I mean, I do, like, if somebody messages me and I'm outside of work, I'll respond. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm like, no, when I'm outside of work, I don't want to do my job. You know what I mean? But,
No,
like,
I get it.
yeah, if somebody messages me at midnight,
Yeah.
I will respond in the morning. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
You have,
there's
no,
a good...
that's balance. That's
Right.
balance. For
Right.
me, I never knew that balance.
Right.
Now I do.
Right. And I also think, too, because I grew up with a single mom.
Yeah.
And it was, like, my sister and I. And she worked all the time.
Yeah.
Like, how you were saying. Like, I wouldn't see her all summer. I wouldn't see her on the weekends.
Yep.
Like, it was like I pretty much didn't have a relationship with her
Yeah.
much at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like watching her growing up, it taught me a lot about, like, what I want to do different. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting because I feel like me and my sister, polar opposites.
Yeah.
So, like, it is interesting to see, like, how people can
Or,
either
like-
go one extreme to the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, for me, both of my parents were workaholics.
Yeah.
So I kind of followed in their tracks.
Yeah.
You know? But my sister, sorry, she doesn't have any
Yeah,
work
yeah.
ethic.
Yeah.
Please don't kill me.
Yeah. Well, I feel like too, you could have both. You know what I mean? Like drive.
Balance.
Right.
Moderation.
Right.
Moderational balance.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, for everybody it's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have any like bad feelings about work because yeah.
I mean, work is
maintain a
work.
good
I'm happy
balance.
that we do what we do because, like, I feel like it's so much more
And
fun.
I love it. Yeah.
Even though it's very stressful at times, it's
Yeah.
so much more fun when you have a good balance.
Right.
When you're
I'm
not,
very
when you're
grateful.
not burning yourself out,
Right.
it is an amazing job.
Right.
But when you do too much, when you work too much,
Right.
it can be very stressful.
Right.
Because you don't give yourself time to heal and take care of yourself.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
all right, next.
All right. Let's see. I feel like we've answered.
Am I the only
most
one
of
freezing?
these. I think so.
Why am I so cold? It's because I'm starving.
I'm starving too.
Did you read them all?
Yeah, I feel like
Let me see.
we did most of them.
Well, you did. That's not all of them. Where are we?
Well, a lot of them are like doubles. Like we've kind of answered them.
Okay.
The Pepe hair.
I know it's everywhere. I think that one. That's good.
We
No,
we
no.
did. We read those.
Okay, you read. What? You didn't read that one, did you?
Yeah.
What? How making friends is different. You read that?
Well, maybe I didn't read.
That one's
maybe I didn't
pretty-
read that.
That's a pretty
okay.
important one, in my opinion.
Well, if making friends as an adult got harder or easier.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've answered so many friend questions.
I
forget which one
know,
this be.
but I feel like this is like the friend episode.
I didn't watch Friends, so I don't really know.
That's not what I was talking about.
Oh,
Like-
they are
like
friend
of Gabalot?
episode.
This isn't Friends. This is Gabalot. No, like, okay, so
I feel like it gets both harder and easier.
it does, but it depends on the situation. Like, there's so many people that I would love to be friends with, like hang out with, and I'm like, you know what? Like, you just have to do it.
Right.
But I mean, when you're younger, it's almost like they make you be friends with people, and then you become friends with people that you probably shouldn't even
You
be
don't
friends
really want to
with.
be friends with? Yeah.
Yes, like
It's
peer,
like-
peer
it's
pressure. When there's no
easier-
peer pressure,
Right.
oh my God.
Right.
But then you get to pick and choose in a positive, like who you want
Well,
to surround yourself with.
That's the thing is, I feel like it's easier because you really get to choose things for yourself and like make those decisions on your own. But it's also harder because there's no, I don't know, you're not forced to like meet new people and. You know what I mean? So,
No,
like,
it's
if
true.
you're someone who likes staying home, you're going to have a really tough time making friends.
Yeah, but you know what? If somebody wants to stay home, let them stay home. I've
No,
realized that.
but I'm saying, like, if you're an adult who likes to stay
but
home
if
and
that's
you
what they
want to
want-
make, but if you want to make more friends,
Yeah, you're
you're
right.
going to have a really hard time.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like,
But they got to motivate themselves, and you know what? You can't force somebody.
also, I feel like the age that I'm at, a lot of my friends just recently graduated college, like, within the last few years, and they met a lot of people in college, and I didn't go to college.
I didn't either.
So, I'm like, I feel like I don't have
No, I get that.
all the amount of friends that some people do.
I was
but I have quality
thinking
ones.
I was thinking of that. But so for me, I didn't go to college, but like back in the day, going out was so much different than it is now. Like
Right.
there was no cell phones. Like they're
Right,
not as
right.
I mean there were cell phones, but they weren't like what they are now.
Right.
So people weren't
Well,
on their phones.
Nobody
People
socializes
were actually
when
talking.
they go out, right? Or
And
they only
I
talk to their
love
group.
Socializing with people. I loved it. That was like one of my favorite things to do. That doesn't mean that I can't enjoy myself in the middle of the woods by myself because
Right.
I freaking love to be alone sometimes. I need to decompress. But socializing, making friends, loved
Moderation.
it. Moderation. Like I would go out and I would just start talking to people.
Right. Nobody does that anymore.
But I do.
well,
When I'm in
yes.
Miami, I go out in Miami. I go right up to the bar by myself. I get a prosecco drink, whatever it is, and I just start talking to people. And I like to make conversations. And I want to know like, oh, what do you do for a living?
Right.
And then that's like networking. Like you meet so many cool people doing that. So many people are so scared.
Right.
But they're also like, they're just with the same people all the time. And they are too afraid to put themselves out there to
branch
meet new
out.
people.
Right.
And the fake friend thing, I can't do. I can't deal with it.
Right.
I would rather have zero friends
Yeah.
than
Then somebody who's going
pretend-
to talk about you.
like
or-
I've lost a lot of friends over the past few years. Like one of them would, and I'm not saying she's a bad person. I just personally couldn't stand the fact that she would beg me to hang out all the time. And it would be to the point where like I didn't really want to hang out.
Right.
But even if I did, it felt so forced
Right.
that I couldn't do it.
Right.
So I finally had to break it off. Do I miss her at times? Sometimes.
Do I know this person?
Yeah, maybe. But I don't want to associate with people where I feel like it's a forced relationship.
Right.
And that goes for
Well, you should want to hang
friends,
out.
family,
Right.
anything.
Right.
I don't want to be in a situation where I don't feel comfortable. And life is too short. Nobody
Right.
should. I
Right.
don't care. Oh, well, you have to because that's right. And then you need to do this. Like, no, I don't. I don't need to do what you want me to do.
Yeah.
If I don't want to do it, I'm gonna set that boundary and I'm not gonna do it.
Right. Right.
So, it is what it is, and everybody should be like that. But it's
Yeah.
not as easy as it seems.
Yeah.
You
don't want people making you feel bad about the way that you live your life
No.
or
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Definitely.
Well, I think that wraps it up for today. Right?
Also, this is not her shirt. We got them at the same
my
time.
God, we did. We bought these at the same time.
we bought the
We
same
bought them
shirt.
at the same time, and she comes in the house today, and I go, I wore that shirt on a podcast
podcast.
before, right? And she was like, people are gonna think it's yours. I said, no, they're really not gonna think that, but thanks for ratting yourself out.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta feed this dog. He's starving, so ciao.